No, wait, no, stop, wait, stop! We could... What's up, guys? This is...
Hey.
I don't know what the channel's called.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Darius back again with Let's Argy Bargy. Got my man's AJ with me again, as usual. And in the winter anime 2019, we're going to be talking about the anime Tate no Yuusha. I feel like it's longer than that.
It is. There's some other words on there. But keep talking. I'm going to find out what that word is.
Tate no Yuusha, or like, I think it's like Legend of the Shield
The
Hero.
Rising of a Shield Hero.
Rising of the Shield Hero, which is A+ in my opinion.
Love it. It is my number one thing. It's the one thing that I was really waiting on. Not taking no flack away from Mob Psycho and Yakusoku no Promised Land, or Neverland, excuse me.
Promised Land.
I like both of those,
Take
but
to Promised Land.
but Tate no Yuusha was easily the one that I was looking forward to seeing out of all of them.
So before Tate no Yuusha came out, he had been telling me about it for like weeks. He was like, "Oh, I can't wait till it comes out," and I'm like, "Bleh, it's another isekai or whatever." So I came over, we watched it. I loved it. I loved every bit of it. And we just finished episode 2. So I was like, screw it, let's go ahead and make a video about it, because this is going to be part of my, I think my, the playlist is the Anime of Winter 2019. Yeah, so there's going to be a couple more in this group. But I personally think it is in the top 3. It might be top 2, honestly.
If it's not in the top 3, it has to. If it's not in the top 2, it has to be in the top 3.
Yeah, well, Mob Psycho is a continuation of season 1, which we already have spoke about. So I kind of don't want to include it because it's riding the wave of season 1. But Promised Neverland, which we're going to do about, trust me, is in the top 2 for sure. But Tate no Yuusha, and there's a couple more that I might do a video about.
Tate no Yuusha, Nariagari.
I like Tate no Yuusha better because I can say that. But so far, all I know about the story, he's obviously read the manga, so he knows more about me. It's just all 4 of the legendary heroes. There's a spear, sword, bow, and shield hero. They all get summoned at the same time, which is unique to me because I've never
Spoilers.
Sorry, I don't care.
Spoilers. It's coming. It's coming.
Oh. I can't spoil anything because I'm watching it the same way you are. He knows more than me.
I'm not going to go any further than episode 2.
Great. So in episode 1, I loved it because there were some elements of the story that I personally haven't seen before. Now, someone who's even more seasoned than I may have seen more or have seen this trope or archetype before. But like, I loved how all 4 heroes were summoned at the exact same time. But not just the main character, the other 3 main characters was just like, we're going to take advantage of this situation. They bossed up. They was just like, we need this, that, and the third. You're not going to talk to us any kind of way. We are the heroes of legend. And the other shield heroes just like, I am along for the ride. You guys know what I don't know. And it's interesting because we've seen isekais before, but this is slightly different in a way. Because not only did we get all 4 at the beginning, each of them are actually in a different universe of the same Japan.
Their origin is, they all come from Japan, and they all come from the same time period. Let's say they all came from 2019. So they're all from 2019, and they're all from Japan, but the universes are different. And the way they actually, they explain it is, they go, hey, all right, everyone, on the count of 3, what is on the 1,000 yen bill? 1, 2, 3, and they all say 4 different names. They go, oh, who's the prime minister? They all say 4 different names. So they all say, okay, we're all from Japan because we clearly speak Japanese, but our universes are different.
Which is so interesting to me because usually we always follow 1. But we're kind of following 4, which is interesting. And our hero, the story, or I guess the paradigm that we're following at this particular one is the shield hero, and he is the odd man out. He doesn't have a weapon. He can't pick up a weapon because it interferes with his shield.
None of them can pick up a different weapon.
That's really?
None of them. So what happens is
I thought the sword guy could pick up at least another sword.
So the 4 heroes all have a legendary weapon, like you said. So a spear, a sword, a bow, and then the shield. And their weapons are special because they evolve and they grow with their user. And the thing about them, another special thing is, there's actually 2 special things. One is that these 4 heroes actually can't be together and go out in the world and get stronger. Their weapons actually hinder them from doing that.
That's true, which is also a unique thing. So, like, they actually have to train separately, and whenever one of the waves come, I guess they come together, and whatever accumulative like experience and weapon evolution that they got, they use to fend off these waves. But I actually genuinely like that. So obviously with the shield hero, he can't pick up any weapon. So how does that man get any stronger? How does he evolve his shield? Anything like that? Like he has to physically like fight off these or fend off these monsters.
And like and our main guy. So there's 4 main people, but the person that we follow after is obviously the shield hero, Naofumi, and he literally has a shield. He has high defense, but he has bare minimum attack. So a little further on in the first episode, when he's actually fighting these, I call them
balloon monsters.
Yeah, they're gonna be like the slimes of this universe. He's physically punching them because he can do nothing else.
He can't. And obviously, we learned in the second episode a kind of a get around to that. But I want to start with the first episode. So he when the king summons them all together, it's like, look, these people will follow you and they'll help you on your journey. They'll be part of your party. The shield hero gets no one. But that also makes sense to me. He doesn't have a weapon.
Right.
He's really all defense.
Why would you party with someone who can't fight?
Exactly. So you would be basically on the front lines if you were part of this party. But we get one person who volunteered, and I personally knew from the beginning she wasn't shit. I knew it. So they go along, they're doing this thing, he's getting equipment, he's spending all this money because the king gave him like an advance.
Yeah, he gave him an additional.
And I was just waiting, I was waiting. I was like, she's going to do something to him because I know how this is going to go. And she did. She accused him of sexual assault and
theft.
And theft. Yeah. And no one believed him. No one believed him, even though the evidence is so loose. Oh my God, you found one of my nightgowns in your room. What? That's nothing. That's nothing.
Now Fumi was saying, like, the girl who volunteered after, he went out and spent all this money on her gear and spent all this money on his own gear, and they went out and trained a little bit. The next day, he wakes up, the guards are in there, he goes, yo, hey, all my stuff is gone, we gotta go find them. The guard's like, yo, come to the castle. King's like, what do you got to say for yourself? You sexually assaulted this girl, what the fuck? Everyone's on his ass. They're all going, oh man, you're terrible, I knew you were bad news.
Now that part of me felt real unrealistic. I thought to myself, I was like, so there's no due process? But this is also another world. This is kind of like old English, like old whatever. So like if someone accuses you of sexual assault,
well,
it's kind of like...
And it was just like, all right, so there is evidence. And then he was saying stuff like, oh man, Spear Hero's got that armor that you bought me.
He did.
And she goes, the Shield Hero's like, what are you talking about? She came to my room, crying and shit, and then she gave this to me as a gift. So this woman is lying her ass off. This woman had it out for him.
But I think the spear and the woman are working in a tandem, which I personally don't understand. I don't know why you would play him like this. There was no need. You had everything you needed. But I did like that plot twist. I liked how it kind of set in motion his mental state. So after the entire kingdom, literally the entire kingdom was like, oh, you're the shield hero. You're that rapist. You're that guy that goes around and just take women's bodies. And he's just like, nah, that wasn't me. No one believes him. But the one person that did believe him was that shopkeeper.
The blacksmith.
The blacksmith, exactly, in that earlier in the episode, which I respected and I thought it was so funny because he was about to pummel him, and the shield hero was just like, I didn't do it, and he looked him in his eyes, and he was like, I guess you didn't do it. And he was like, good, because I was finna kill you. I love that.
You're about to lose.
Your life. But I like how because before all of that happened, before like the whole town understood what had happened, he was just like, yo, send me back. And the king was like, I can't do anything to you. I can't arrest you. I can't lock you up because you all basically are on the same life.
Right. He goes, I would love to lock you away. I would love to just straight kill you, but I need you to handle these waves. And waves are there's actually a set schedule inside each of the major kingdoms. There's a big hourglass, and when the hourglass drops all the sand drops all the way down, a wave comes out, and it's just basically a wave of monsters. But the king says, I'm not going to lock you up because he basically stops looking at him as a person and goes, you're a resource. You're going to defend against the waves, and then you can go home. And then he drops the big bomb, and he goes, I can't just, he's like, yo, if I die, I leave, right? He goes, yeah. He goes, cool. The king goes, yeah, but you all have to die.
Exactly. So the plan, in my opinion, worked, but it also backfires. Like, yeah, you got the shield hero in a nasty predicament, but you're still kind of tied to him. So if he dies, or if he gets locked up, or if he's unable to fight, it also hinders you. Mm-hmm. But you got a little bit of gold and some equipment out of it. So I can't wait to see their final confrontation. If it ever happens, I don't know. I haven't read the manga, so I'm experiencing it in real time like the rest of you guys.
So let's talk a little bit about how his mindset right after that.
Yes, so he gets mean. He gets mean. Nice. But I feel everyone would react the same way. So since everyone is against you, you're against them. That's just human nature. Everyone hates me. Fuck it, I hate you too. So I'ma just. So since he realized that since he's a shield hero, his defense and his HP is astronomically high. So like he can just get bitten by these monsters. It's whatever. But if you use the exact same monsters against normal civilians, they'll get fucked up. So it's just like, oh, okay, you won't let me do this? Well, how about these monsters that's been gnawing on me for 5 hours attacks you? So that's how he gets his way. And then he gets approached by a slave master towards the end of the first episode. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? He gets a slave. In the second episode, we realize
straight up buys
a demi-human, a straight up slave. And I like his attitude. I like the turn of attitude, I guess, from the beginning of the episode to the end, because basically he is by himself at this point. Mm-hmm. No one respects him, no one likes him, and no one really wants to help him achieve anything. They kind of just fear him, so they give him stuff out of fear. So he's just like, well, I can't fight anyone. And the slave master did kind of come up with a good point. And you learn in the second episode that whoever's in his party, if they defeat a monster, not only does the person that originally defeated the monster gets XP, but he as the shield hero gets XP as well, which is kind of a loophole.
That's the workaround.
The workaround, exactly. Now I did love how him and his slave his slave built a relationship, because in the beginning he was kind of ruthless. Like, yo, I order you to do these things.
And she has a crest on her.
She cannot deny
whenever he goes, hey, do this thing, and she says no. He goes, no, do it. It activates and it causes her pain, and it drives her to do it.
But we know, especially not only because we know what happened to him in the beginning, but we know from this point on, he's not a bad guy. He's just angry.
He's angry.
But as any person would be, the entire town, the entire structure of government is just like, you are this person, we'll label you as this person, and we'll treat you as this person. He's just like, you know what, screw it. But at the end of the day, he's like, yo, I got to get stronger because these wave of monsters is on their way.
It's coming
regardless of what y'all think of me, these monsters are on their way. Mm-hmm. And I cannot level up fast enough just punching monsters. I gotta do something. And I like how his shield does have a bunch of different skills and shapes and forms. but his slave is not half bad. I'm not gonna lie.
Right. So the slave that he buys, Raftalia, he as soon as he buys her, he goes out. He goes to the blacksmith. Blacksmith's like, "Yo, what's up?" He goes, "Hey." He just drops a little bit of money. He goes, "I need a weapon for her." And he goes, here's this knife. He goes, he gives it to her. He goes, "Hey," opens the cloak, has one of those weak monsters. He goes, "Yo, stab this monster." And she's like, "No, stab this fucking monster." And then she does, and she gets XP. And then he gets a little bit. He goes, "All right, here we go. Here we go." And so he just keeps doing that. He has her fight all these weaker monsters until she gets a little bit stronger. He's taking all these monster parts. He's out in the forest getting stuff. He gets a little bit more money. Goes back to the blacksmith. "Hey, we need something else." Gets a better weapon, you know. And so he's doing this process of going like, "All right, we're going to fight stronger stuff slowly. We're going to get up there, get more XP. I'm going to get stronger. You're going to get stronger." And then, you know, and later on he drops like a really heavy piece of knowledge. He goes, "Hey, if you don't fight and I die, you die."
Which is true.
You know, he's all the defense.
So she's just like, "Yo, I'm a slave, and obviously being a slave, it comes with the territory. You do what your master says. You're probably not going to get treated as a human, regardless." But like, he's like, "Yo, you do not understand. All the trauma that you suffer from this point on, I get it, but if I die, you die.
Right.
And I have a job to do. I cannot go home until these waves of monsters have been eradicated." And who was it, the Demon Lord?
No.
There's some big evil that they have to
The waves are the big evil.
Really? There's nothing after that?
The waves are like the big thing, because like these waves of monsters are like they're terrible. So I think prior to this, I think the kingdom has suffered, I think maybe 2 or 3. The first one they were able to deal with pretty well. The second one was what really kind of fucked them up, and that's why they were like, "All right, let's summon the heroes." But he tells her, you know, because now Fumi is like he's angry. And he did buy a slave, which isn't good.
It's not.
But he does treat her much better than someone who would buy a slave.
True. So in episode 2, when they go into that little tavern or whatever to buy food, he explains to me he can't read. I just thought he didn't care.
Right.
So the slave is like reading, because obviously she can't in this world. It's like, "Yo, demi-humans will not be served."
She is a demi-human.
She is a demi-human. I think she said she's like part raccoon or something.
Yeah, she's part raccoon.
So he goes into the situation. He's just like, "Yo, get her some food, whatever." And normally, in any other circumstances, she wouldn't be fed. But since they fear him so much, they're just like, "All right, I'll give you some food." And we get a relationship building, which feels kind of natural, because ultimately he's not a bad guy. He just got dealt a bad hand. He's just angry.
Yeah.
You know, and he can't do anything. He cannot pick up a weapon, and punching out these balloon monsters and rabbits is not going to be enough to defend the kingdom from these waves. Right. He had to do what he had to do. And that's what I like most about this anime, is that it's not your typical isekai. It's not your typical isekai where it's just you drop into this world and you're OP. He drops into this world and he is dog shit.
He is literally fourth.
He cannot he can defend himself. He cannot do anything but. And I love that. And he got dealt a bad hand, and I appreciate the natural progression from that. Because if anyone gets accused of sexual assault, rape, any of that,
that's it.
That in normal customs and normal society, you will be labeled,
branded,
ostracized, and you're probably doing some jail time. But at this time, they're just like, "We can't do anything to you because you're a legendary hero." So I respect his natural reaction to the fact that the whole city hates him, unbeknownst to them that he did nothing wrong.
And I don't know if you noticed this in episode 1, but the shield hero, not necessarily Naofumi in particular, but the shield hero himself had a predisposition of him being ass compared to the other ones.
Yeah, he kind of didn't have the exact, or not even exact.
The townspeople were actually saying, "Ah, shit, should we have even summoned the shield hero here?"
You're right. Actually, yeah, you just spoke something up. So even before he even came to be the Shield hero, everyone kind of had a prejudice towards the Shield hero. Just like, what do we even need you for, really? So not only did he come into the world with a like I said, a prejudice about him, about, you can't really do anything but just guard and shield. Then they label you as a rapist, molester, kidnapper, whatever the hell it is they want to label you as. So it's just like, not only did y'all not respect me and didn't like me, but now y'all are actively hating me. Mm-hmm. And I love that. You don't see that often in animes where the main character is the villain in their world, but to us, he's the hero. So I'm excited to see what happens from this point on. I literally love every episode that I've watched. I think we're getting 2 cores out of this.
We are getting 2 cores. So there's 22 more episodes of this shit that I've been waiting for, and I'm fucking excited. And I've read the manga, and I'm still just like, I'm just like, is it today? Does it drop today? Boom! I'm on it.
So I forgot exactly what I was going to say.
Goodbye.
It's not. We'll never get it again. What was I going to say? Well, whatever. It doesn't matter.
It's dead now.
It might as well be dead because I'll never know what I was going to say.
We'll find out after the video's over.
Probably. As soon as she hits stop.
That's it. It's coming.
Exactly. But so far, I do recommend it, obviously. And I'm sure because on Kiss Manga and other publications, it's pretty popular. So I know that you guys are enjoying it as well. Mm-hmm. I just want to give my thoughts and opinions on it. So I guess to summarize, Tate no Yuusha is good.
Tate no Yuusha is good. It's one of the good isekais that we get.
It's a good isekai. I would say the last good isekai we got was ReZero, and that's the greatest body of work I've ever seen in my life.
No, that is not the last good isekai.
What's the last good?
Slime.
I'm sorry. I made a huge mistake.
Slime is the last one, but like
Slime was the last good isekai
of 2019 of the fresh winter 2019 anime season. I will say that Tate no Yuusha is our first good isekai.
Tate no Yuusha, I felt if it came out, because it's actually a relatively old manga. If it came out when it did, I don't think it would do as well as it did then. Mm-hmm. Because isekai at that time was just kind of new. Just like, oh shit, people are going to different worlds. Like, we've had like Inuyasha, we've had Dot Hack and all that. Mm-hmm. But Tate no Yuusha, if it had come out at the time, I don't think it would be as popular. Because at this point, I think people are kind of sick of isekais. Just like, we get an isekai 2 or 3 per season. Not even per year, per season. And we need something different, and I think this will deliver something different.
I also agree that this will deliver that good isekai content. Like, even though it's following, a lot of our isekai tropes,
video game-esque, but it's more of a character study.
It feels good. It feels good that we usually are following an underdog. Whether it doesn't have to be isekai, but like we're following an underdog, but we're following a true underdog.
Everyone loves the underdog.
Starting from the dirt. Starting from under the dirt.
This is a real underdog, and I love that. I just want to see him rise, and I do like revenge stories. I do like how you, especially if it's unwarranted evil towards the main character. I love the revenge of that. But I will end this here. I will say Tate no Yuusha is probably going to be top 3.
If not top 2.
Promise Neverland and Tate no Yuusha. If it's not in the top 2. And I highly recommend that everyone watch it. I think you'll get a good time out of it. I think there's elements of the story that you'll enjoy, regardless if it's isekai, action, drama, romance, whatever. I think there's elements of the story that you'll enjoy. And I forgot what I was going to say. Whatever.
I guess I'll catch y'all later.